A tabloid journalist's laptop glowed in the dark as she typed the headline. Wako Jacko sleeps in oxygen chamber. Insider reveals bizarre rituals. None of it was true. She knew it. But it would sell 3 million copies. Her career was built on destroying Michael Jackson. 23 hit pieces in 5 years. Millions of readers. 0 regrets. 7 years later, that same journalist sat in a cancer ward, bankrupt from medical bills, alone, waiting to die. She had no insurance, no savings, no hope. Then Michael Jackson walked through that hospital door. What happened in the next 5 minutes would break them both. April 9, 1993. National Enquirer offices, New York City. 11:23 p.m. Jessica Thompson sat at her desk, deadline approaching. 35 years old, senior tabloid journalist, known for one thing: explosive Michael Jackson stories. Her editor, Robert Martinez, stood behind her. "What do we have for this week?" "Michael Jackson bought the Elephant Man's bones for $50,000. Is it true? Does it matter? It's good. People will believe it. Run it." The story hit stands 2 days later. Massive sales. The lie had already spread. Over the next 5 years, she wrote 23 hit pieces. Michael sleeps in oxygen chamber to live to 150. Michael's face is falling apart. Michael is losing his mind. None were true. All sold millions, but not all came easy. May 1994. The oxygen chamber story. Jessica sat at her desk at 2 a.m., staring at the draft. The story was ready. Photos doctored, source invented. Her stomach turned. She'd met Michael once, at a charity event. He'd been kind, quiet, asked about her work with genuine interest. This story would devastate him. She knew it. Her hand hovered over the delete button. Then her phone buzzed. Rent was due. Car payment overdue. She hit send. The story ran. Michael's mother cried on TV. His children asked if Daddy was sick. Jessica watched and told herself it was just business. June 15th, 1993. The Grammy Museum Gala. Jessica was there covering the event. Michael Jackson was the guest of honor. She watched him arrive, saw how he flinched when cameras flashed, how his hands shook when people got too close. Her colleague whispered, "You ever feel bad?" Jessica sipped her champagne. "He's a public figure. It's part of the job." After the event, Jessica was in the parking garage when she heard crying, quiet, trying to hide. She looked around the corner. Michael Jackson sat on the ground behind his car, head in his hands, shoulders shaking. His bodyguard, David Chen, stood nearby. "Michael, we should go." "Why do they hate me so much? I just make music. Why do they want to destroy me?" Jessica watched from the shadows. She saw what she'd done, really saw it. A human being, broken, crying because of lies. Her lies. She should walk over, apologize. Instead, she turned around, walked to her car, drove home, and wrote another story. Michael Jackson mental breakdown at Gala. It ran the following week. 3 million copies sold. Jessica got a bonus. She never forgot the sound of him crying. Time shift. 7 years pass. Jessica's career peaks, then crashes. Tabloids die. She's laid off. Then the diagnosis comes, the reckoning, March 7th, 2000. Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, New York, 3:42 p.m. Jessica Thompson sat in a hospital gown in room 812. 42 years old now. Stage 3 breast cancer, aggressive. Treatment plan, surgery, chemotherapy, radiation. Cost, $380,000. She had no insurance. Laid off 8 months ago. Savings, $4,200. Dr. Sarah Williams had been clear. Without treatment, 6 to 9 months. With treatment, 68% survival rate. I don't have the money. Jessica had called everyone. Every family member, every colleague, nothing. Nobody wanted to help the woman who'd made a living destroying others. So she sat in that hospital room, waiting. Maybe this was justice. March 8th, 6:15 a.m. Dr. Williams entered with someone else, a man in a black hoodie and surgical mask. "Miss Thompson, this is a donor. He'd like to speak with you." The man lowered his mask. Jessica's heart stopped. Michael Jackson. For 3 seconds, her mind went blank. Then one thought, this is it. He came to watch me die. Panic flooded her. He knew who she was. 23 articles, 23 knives. He was here for revenge. "Hello, Jessica." She couldn't breathe. Her hands gripped the bedsheets. Michael pulled up a chair. Sat down. You know who I am." "I know exactly who you are. You wrote 23 articles. I remember every one." Her vision blurred. This was the moment she'd been dreading. "Please, I know I don't deserve mercy." "Dr. Williams told me about your situation." Jessica couldn't process the words. Michael sat very still, his hands clasped together, shaking slightly. He'd spent 2 days thinking about this, reliving every article, every lie, his mother crying, his children scared. He remembered crying in that parking garage. And now Jessica was here, dying, alone. This was his choice. Carry the hate or choose something bigger. "All of it," Michael said quietly. "The surgery, the chemotherapy, the radiation, I'll cover it." "What?" "No. After what I did. This isn't about what you did. It's about what I choose to do. Michael, I destroyed you. I made millions tearing you apart. I watched you cry and wrote another hit piece. I don't deserve. Nobody deserves grace, Jessica. That's why it's called grace." She broke completely. 20 years of guilt poured out. "Why? Why would you help me?" Michael stood slowly. His face showed the weight of his choice. This hurt, but it was right. "Because 7 years ago you showed me what cruelty looks like. Today I'm showing you what forgiveness looks like." He walked to the door, stopped. "Jessica, when you get better, and you will, I need you to do something. Anything. Tell the truth, that's all." And then Michael Jackson walked out. Jessica sat there, destroyed and saved. Dr. Williams wiped her eyes. "That man just saved your life. I don't usually cry with patients, but that was something I've never seen." In the parking garage, Michael sat in his car for 20 minutes. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. David Chen, his bodyguard, waited. "You okay, Michael?" Michael stared straight ahead. "I don't know. That was really hard, wasn't it?" Yeah, it was." He thought about his choice, to help someone who'd hurt him so deeply. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like carrying something heavy, but it felt right. "Let's go home, David." Michael closed his eyes. Exhausted, but at peace. Jessica's treatment began the next day. 12 months of hell, surgery, chemotherapy, hair loss, nausea, pain. Michael covered every dollar. She never saw him again. But every month his business manager called. "Michael wants to know how you're doing. Tell him I'm fighting, and I'm sorry." Month 6, Jessica was at her lowest, ready to give up. The business manager called. Michael said, "The Jessica who wrote those articles is already dead. The woman fighting now is someone new. Keep fighting for her." Jessica wept and kept fighting. October 2000. You're in remission, Jessica. You made it. 68% survival rate. She made it. Because of Michael Jackson. The next day, she resigned from the National Enquirer. Her editor stopped her. You're our best writer. I was your best liar. There's a difference. She got a nonprofit job. New York Literacy Coalition. Minimum wage. Teaching adults to read. Actually helping people. Tiny studio in Queens. Subway. Discount groceries. Almost nothing. But she was helping. Building instead of destroying. Slowly changing. She became humble, honest, the person she should have been. But she never stopped thinking about Michael. Never stopped being grateful. Never stopped being ashamed. June 25th, 2009. Michael Jackson just died. Jessica left work immediately, went home, sat at her computer, and began to write. Not for money, for Michael, for truth. The article took 6 hours. Title, I destroyed Michael Jackson for money, a confession. She detailed every lie, every piece of damage. She wrote about the gala, watching him cry, walking away, writing another attack. She wrote about the hospital, expecting revenge, receiving grace. Her conclusion included one line, shared millions of times. I chose money over truth, and he chose mercy over revenge. Michael Jackson showed me grace when I deserved judgment. He saved my life after I dedicated mine to hurting him. I knew better. I felt guilty, but I chose money over truth, and he chose mercy over revenge. He was everything I said he wasn't. Kind, forgiving, profoundly good. I'm sorry, Michael. She published it on a small blog at 2:47 a.m. She woke up 6 hours later to her phone exploding. The article had gone viral. Million shares. CNN, BBC. The New York Times calling. Other tabloid journalists started confessing. The narrative around Michael began to shift. Today, Jessica Thompson is 67, cancer-free, humble, grateful. She works at the Center for Journalism Ethics, teaching young reporters about truth and the human cost of lies. Every semester she shows them her old articles, the lies, the damage, then the hospital bill. $380,000. Every penny paid by Michael Jackson. This is what grace looks like. Grace you don't deserve. Grace that changes everything. On her office wall hangs Michael's photograph. Below it, he taught me that grace is stronger than revenge. He saved the life of someone who tried to destroy his. March 8, 2000. I'm sorry, I'm grateful, I'm changed. Because on a March morning in 2000, a dying journalist learned that forgiveness isn't earned, and a man she'd tormented taught her that mercy is the ultimate power, even when it costs everything. That's the difference between revenge and redemption. Revenge would have been justified, but Michael chose redemption instead, and that choice saved them both. This story is inspired by Michael Jackson's capacity for forgiveness. All characters except Michael are fictional, but the message is eternal. If this moved you, share it with someone who needs to remember that grace is stronger than cruelty. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is show kindness to someone who showed you none.